The war in Ukraine is speeding up a global departure from fossil fuel use and the adoption of more renewables. Well, that's according to a new report by the International Energy Agency. The Paris-based organization says global emissions are set to peak by 2025, giving way to cleaner sources, including renewables. Rising prices for oil, gas, and coal are behind the trend. The IEA said the war was leading to, quote, profound and long-lasting changes in energy markets. Claudia Kempfert is an energy economist with the German Institute for Economic Research in Berlin. She joins me for more. Claudia, this report suggests a turning point, but it's not all good news. To limit climate change to 1.5 degrees by the end of the century, there would have to be a doubling of investment in renewables by 2030 to $4 trillion. Is that feasible based on what we know now?
I think it will be feasible if the financial markets are ready for it. And we need here the right frameworks that the money is spent for the right direction into the renewables and the transition instead of fossil fuel infrastructure. Unfortunately, we see also bad things going on the global market because a lot of investment is now spent also in fossil fuel infrastructure or drillings to fossil fuels, which is not in line what we need. And hopefully this will change.
You touched on this, governments doing enough, that question. We also look at the build-out of renewables itself, not just investment in fossil fuels. If I look at wind, for example, here in Germany, there are great aspirations for building out wind. At the same time, that build-out actually drags along. We don't see the same kinds of approvals, for example. What is the government going to have to do to push through a lot of these projects?
Yeah, on the one hand, indeed, we need the right frameworks for it and the money that is spent in order to increase the share of renewables. In Germany, for example, we need enough land, which is also provided to install the windmills and also provide the right framework for it and to reduce the barriers which are still existing. And I think that's true also for the rest of the world, of other European countries, to provide the right frameworks that the investment into renewables is coming. Instead of fossil investments, we need a lot of renewable investment.
The IEA has also said in the past that more countries should consider nuclear as a clean energy option. Should that also not be an option for Germany?
Now, I think nuclear, especially new nuclear power plants, are so costly that it's not really an option. Look at the new installations. They need a decade to be installed. They need a lot of investments, and we don't have the time for it. We need to be ready by 2030, and renewables are fast, they are cheap, and we can install them all over the globe, and that's the answer to it. Nuclear certainly is not. We see that in France, how the problems occur if the power plants are not maintained adequately and the costs are too high. So renewable is the answer, not nuclear.
This idea that we could see a peak in emissions by 2025, could this take some of the pressure off governments when it comes to the kind of activism we've seen, when it comes to the kind of pressure to speed up the process? Or is that urgency still there from what you see?
Well, I see an urgency coming also because of the war, the fossil energy war we are in, and the investments are coming into renewables, and there is a speed-up process here, which is good. On the other hand, we also see investments into the bad things, that is fossil fuel. So I think the IEA is right by the peak that they assume, but what we really need now is to have investments ready for renewables and the governments which provide the right frameworks for it.
All right, Claudia Kempfert with the German Institute for Economic Research in Berlin. Thank you.
Thank you.